So, Johnny, I have a question for you here today. You know, regardless of the matchup G2's going up against here, G2, as the Des said, have been doing well. I'd say that's a fair assessment of what G2 have done with Dries. Do you think it's fair to all of a sudden start jumping off the G2 train off of maybe a poor loss against Alpine?
Well, you know, one loss is nothing to be too scared about. This is a chance for G2 to immediately rectify that, to fix it, because this is the perfect chance to, you know, gain all of what you just lost from Alpine. Well, actually not everything, because Alpine are out of reach of them, but, you know, mentally, yeah, they can get it all back against NRG here. And I think they're going to be more comfortable because they won't feel like heavy favorites in a matchup.
Well, certainly to grow as a player, you have to experience that loss, but you also have to get the big wins. And for G2, this would certainly be a big series for them to win if they could take down NRG. I think G2 have their expectations set for the rest of the season, but certainly still coming out in their best form they possibly can. And NRG, they're going to need it. NRG have just been a machine here in North America, and right now we'll see what they bring us against G2.
And we're going to need to just keep an eye, especially on G2 early on here. See if they're going to, you know, still be thinking about that last series they've just lost. It's a huge disappointment, of course, to lose to Alpine like that. But they're professional players. You know, the experience at G2.Chicago, they should know how to just move on from that. It doesn't matter anymore. They just have to focus entirely on what's in front of them. And so far, it doesn't seem like they're playing too badly. NRG haven't tested the ball that hard. That's a great save by Dries. JKnaps chipping the ball straight down into the middle. Nobody's there for NRG though, so it's a safe clear, even though it's in a direction that would usually be unsafe.
And G2, they've kind of fallen into this two-pronged attack now with JKnaps in Chicago. Dries have been backing him up as that third man, but G2's offense, you know, we haven't really seen something so fluid from them in a while with JKnaps in Chicago. The output of offense that we've seen in the last few regionals have been something to watch. And Dries has certainly filled in the gaps when called upon, and here he comes again. A good challenge, but at least slow down NRG. G2 will have to play a little bit of defense here. Squishy trying to play it off the back wall. It'll be JKnaps. Comes down to Dries and a good flick over the first man. Dries by himself. He tries to get through the midfield, stopped by Garrett G.
Dries very effective coming forward, even though, like you said, he's been playing that back up for G2 for the most part, letting JKnaps in Chicago unleash themselves. It does play out very differently, because of course Rizzo is extremely aggressive and very bump heavy off the ball. So this is a chance for JKnaps Chicago still to just have more opportunities to advance. They don't have to worry about taking themselves out of the game, because they'll have two players behind them more often. Neither style is necessarily better than the other, but it is different. It's you know, it's been working for G2 to let Chicago and JKnaps just do whatever they want in offense.
Yeah, certainly having that trust in Dries, knowing that he will be there the majority of the time, has certainly opened up a world of possibility here for JKnaps in Chicago. That's a second whip from JKnaps.
It is, yeah.
Not able to connect on the ball here. Haven't been detrimental, but something to point out is Dries will find the back wall fall from JKnaps. This one's going to bounce out in front of the box. And good contact from JKnaps, but it was stopped by Garrett.
Yeah, they were awkward touches that JKnaps was attempting, both the ones he missed. It looked like he was low on boost and had to, you know, precisely dodge into the ball. In fact, missing worked out quite well for G2, because nobody on NRG expected JKnaps to miss either of the times he did. But if he starts to do that more often, then it will turn into bad news very quickly. This is tough. Dries can't get the read. Garrett will. 1-0 NRG. And it was just a very testing pass from Squishy. Great hit into the back wall. The fact it kicked out that far made it very hard for G2.
I think Dries was expecting maybe a shot a bit closer to him, and instead it was down and away from Dries. And he was the only one up that could have made the save. Good contact there from Garrett. NRG late here and go up by 1-0. JKnaps with left side shot, and G2 respond.
Wow. Talk about going one better. What a pass from Dries. Getting completely alongside the ball and slamming it into the middle. And JKnaps is he's always been one of the players who you just dream to have waiting for your infield pass. He's one of the guys you feel like you can just hit anything at him and he's going to send it in the top corner. There's Exhibit A.
He certainly is. You can throw almost anything at him and he will make it work. That one was easy for him. Dries made it easy for JKnaps to put that one on target. One of the best in the world to have behind the ball in that situation. You're all tied up. And you know what? I feel like there's a lot of confidence here for G2. You know, the desk and even us have talked about the Alpine series, but this is a good start against G2 as they're tied up in the final minute.
And that's good work from Chicago while he retreats back, demoing the dribbling player on NRG from behind. G2 have had more pressure, more opportunities in this game, although NRG have looked clinical when they do get chances on net. And in the final minute now, G2 advancing. JNaps with the air dribble. He's got Garrett in front of him, and Garrett wins that challenge. It's still in the middle though. Although G2 had half a chance there, Dries didn't want to commit. He's sitting back like we talked about.
Very, very smart, though. I mean, there's a lot of congestion inside the box. You don't want to overcommit. Now he's getting a bump on Squishy. Could open things up. JNap's not on the far side. That was the opportunity for G2, and they certainly, like you said, are having many more opportunities than NRG at the moment. Dries does get involved in the midfield, but here comes Squishy. NRG trying to end this game. Garrett into the corner. Will be stopped by G2, and maybe G2 might have the last chance. It'll be Dries using all of his boost and a soft touch down to Chicago. Maybe G2 in regulation. They're going to get a good bounce here.
Oh my.
Dries trying to pop it over. He does get it. JNaps is up. Can he put it away in the fake? No, it'll drop down. And into overtime we go.
Yeah, a bit cheeky there for Garrett, keeping the ball active. Wanted a chance at a counter-attack maybe. Immediately regretted it as it got sent back into the middle. But NRG unscathed into overtime. And now a huge chance for Garrett. Oh, he didn't have the run-up. He had to just wait for the ball to come to him. What a chance. Squandered by NRG.
Yeah, definitely a spoiled chance. And for Dries now, trying to make them pay, but good air dribble here from Justin to get out and the challenge. NRG back on the offense, and Squishy trying to get a second touch is turned away by JNaps. A lot of opportunity here for G2 so far. 12 shots. This one coming down to Chicago. Oh, Dries took it away. For Chicago, another shot. But Garrett jumps in front of it. G2 with multiple chances. That's the 12th save now for NRG.
What a ridiculous angle on the rebound there from Dries. Nobody on either team expected him to hit that one. And, you know, had JNaps waited to see if Dries was going to get a touch there, he may have had an open net at the near post. So G2 starting to get more and more opportunities here as the games progress. They're unleashing that offensive pace more often. Up till now, NRG are handling it, but this is easy for them now. Squishy with a flip reset, dunks it under one, but Chicago's there.
14 shots to the 6 of NRG. G2 out shooting NRG at the moment. They have been so close many times over, but that defense of NRG with their 12 saves have certainly held on. Here comes Dries with a little attempted flip reset. Didn't get a piece of it. Now a demo for Squishy. Could be opportunity now for NRG. The defense once again for G2 coming through. JNaps called upon as he'll throw it back to the midfield.
Yeah, JNaps just making sure to get that ball over Justin's head, but you can only keep him away from offense for so long. Justin controls it and goes for the solo play. Saved by JNaps again. G2 gaining confidence, I would say, as this game goes on. We're talking about a couple of whiffs from JNaps early on. Distant memory at this point. But now here comes Justin again. Huge hit. It's denied by the bar. JNaps will clear from an awkward read. It's solid by both teams. The passing in defense is huge. Now Chicago. He's almost got the double. Dries didn't go fast enough for that. NRG clear.
Thought maybe Chicago could get a second touch. Now JNaps, he wants a challenge. Did he get his flip back here? I think he did. And it does come out to Chicago. That shot will go wide. That's 2.5 minutes in overtime. Still no one to break the deadlocks. Justin gets a good little flip reset, but not threatening towards the G2 side. NRG, the chances have been far and few between, really, especially coming into this overtime. It's been a lot of G2 opportunity, but even they can't capitalize. Dries is going to go for this one. Shot is wide off the back wall. He's going to bump the last man, but Garrett comes through, and that was a huge chance once again for G2.
I think Dries expected to just get a clean win on the race to that ball. JNaps likewise, but Squishy flies back down when he realized the reset was coming in. G2 swarming. Dries getting more involved in the offense. The confidence is there for all three of them at this point. But the finishing touch is not as of yet.
It is fun to watch when Dries gets involved in the offense. And G2 are better for it as well. You know, sometimes you might think that he's playing a little bit too conservatively, because when he's in that offense, G2 look even better. G2 once again Drees taken out of the play, but Chicago looking for a second touch. It is just bombed back from NRG.
Yeah, that's set up beautifully on the back wall for NRG, but still to send it the entire length of the pitch is quite something to behold. Drees pre-jumps the NRG clear, tries to dunk on Squishy's follow-up touch. That's not a good clear by Chicago, but JNaps was able to get on the end of it. That's almost in. Squishy having to scramble. The pace has increased, Corell. This is really moving now. And the overtime's still going. Squishy, diving save, keeping energy in this.
Another huge save. 13 now for G2. 16 shots, or excuse me, 13 saves for NRG, 16 shots for G2. Squishy, he'll take one on target. And this one, Trees, gonna go off the post. Drees was beat again off the crossbar, and Justin will put it away for NRG.
Well, that'll do it. Drees was there. He had boost, but he was just slightly out of position. He drove out of the goal and just had to hope that it wasn't in, simply. But, I mean, not many Justin shots are staying out of the net when you just give him the whole goal to aim at. Of course, it goes barred down and into the goal. NRG take it. It's a bit of a disappointing end for G2. You know, Drees positioned excellently this whole game, but one time he just got on the wrong side of the goal line, and when the shot comes in, there's nothing you can do. He had to be in the goal there. And it just a bit unfortunate, really, that he had that timing, because if you gave him another half second, I'm sure he would have repositioned.
And to be fair, JNaps was there to bail him out. He was the one to play it across the box, but unfortunately it was straight at NRG. And so they will take game one. And for G2, I agree. It is a bit of a shame because you know what? With all the talk on the desk, the apprehension of what G2 were going to show us here against, one of the best teams in North America, this was a quality showing. No doubt in my mind. Drees played phenomenally. JNaps Chicago also played quite well. They just didn't convert when they needed to. They had 16 opportunities to do so, and they were only able to put away one.
And you also have to give credit to Justin for that shot. It's not an easy ball to hit when it's coming at you at that speed, to then send the ball straight back the way that it's going with precision into the bar and into the goal. That's very impressive. And even to be there in the first place, that's the far post side of the box. It's just been centered from the other side. Justin's already over there. So brilliant read of the game there from Justin. His mechanics are praised for good reason. His positioning as well, but not on that play. I don't think I see anyone. In fact, it is Justin. As he turned up the line here, of course he has. Just as we were talking about his positioning being brilliant, he makes the rookie mistake of leaving the net open on a kickoff.
Curious kickoff there. Both players going a bit wide on the ball, which just kind of killed it.
I'd say it's a bad kickoff, Corelli. Yeah. I don't think there's any merit to that one from NRG.
Let's try to be a little more. Trying to be a little bit more technical, give them the benefit of the doubt. But you know what? I'll just dive in deep. It was a bad kickoff for both sides.
Yeah, we see it a lot from top-level teams these days. Risky. Oh, what a save by JNaps, using the post to pinch the ball to safety. Back into the middle, though, and Squishy almost had a piece of that one. G2 probably didn't expect to have a lead that easily in this game. They've got it. Will they hold on to it? Garrett G, tricky on the approach there. I believe he tried to dodge into the ball at the last second, but it just timed out.
Drees can't hold on to it. He left it down for Chicago, actually. Chicago might be free here. Garrett is the one to clear it away. Good communication. That's not the first time I've seen G2 player will pick the ball up into an air dribble, and he could extend it, but instead drops it for the player under him. Seen that multiple times, especially through the midfield. Now Drees, he got Garrett good. And the bump from Justin with the shot wide. Can Chicago put it away? Wide as well.
Oh, Drees deserved that one. Where is the supporting players in that one? He just centered the ball, bumped the goalkeeper out the way. He had the mind game in the near post as well. He did everything. It was just begging to be scored. JNaps wasn't there fast enough. He didn't have the faith in Drees. And, I bet he wishes he did, because that was unbelievable.
It's very rare to see Garrett be made a fool on his own back line there. And Drees did him dirty and then pushed Justin out of the way as well. It was great work from Drees. For G2, could have had double D, but maybe JNaps, another shot from the midfield. This one dangerous. It's going to be an in-and-out save there for Squishy. Chicago will drop it down. JNaps can't put it away. The defense holding on for NRG, but for how long? Drees from the sky can't get it. And JNaps will drop it off for Chicago as this one will go wide. NRG holding on to dear life inside their own net.
What a game Dries is having, you know, and he signed for G2, and when he joined this team for the remainder of this season, everybody's wondering, will he be able to hold his own in these lobbies? He's dominating this game. Every time he touches the ball, he's causing NRG problems, and it's again G2 just piling on the pressure. And again, it starts with Dries. What a touch into the corner, beating Justin to the punch.
And finally, G2 get one that comes out free for just that extra second. The third man able to crash and put it on target. And you feel like they were going to get one here. With 6 shots, they were knocking on the door multiple times, and some redemption there as they're finally able to break through, and maybe even more. Dries trying to work his way through the midfield. Some bullying happening in the backfield as well.
Yeah, there's Dries and Chicago both there looking for a bump on the same player, so poor NRG third man, but they did well to escape. At this point, I feel like anytime you see Dries setting up a center ball, you have to trust that he's going to get it. His consistency of getting the ball passed and into those positions has been extremely good this game especially. So yeah, the G2, they followed it up on the last play. Chicago was there. Want to see that every time Dries is trying to go for a center.
He's been indoctrinated into the G2 offense, because there's a lot of very smart communication going. But here's Justin, and for NRG, there's been a lot of good offense here for G2, looking to keep it going. On the NRG side, they've been feeling a lot of pressure. I mean, that's obvious because the inverse of what G2's doing. But even in the last game, where they come out on top, they had to field a lot of saves, and that G2 offense has been very tough for NRG to adapt to. And I'm not sure if that's because of Dries, like Chicago and JNAPS, or if NRG just aren't playing up to potential right now. But Chicago's getting bullied and still able to make the save. And now here comes G2 as they rush downfield.
What a save. Chicago, he actually was bumped in that position, but he still managed to dodge into the ball as it went straight towards him on target. Not an easy thing to do. Staying calm and staying aware in the position. And what a save that is for this game, because, you know, going back to the kickoff there, not a thing you want to do this late on in a game when you're only winning by 1. Actually, they're winning by 3 now. It's not going to be 1, not going to be 2. Chicago capitalizes on an NRG miss.
And this one, Garrett, he didn't have a lot of boost. That was probably as high as he could have gotten, and just out of reach. I was about to say, well, maybe that was just a big whiff, but he only had about, I think, 16 or so boost getting up into it. Tough save to make, and Chicago, an easy shot for him once the miss came through. And NRG struggling here in this game, which, you know, I'm a bit surprised to stay.
Yeah, I think, you know, the game plan for NRG is pretty clear when you look at both games that we've seen so far. They haven't tried anything too crazy. They, you know, probably took a look at the Alpine G2 score, thought, oh, hold on a second, doesn't look like G2 are playing very well today. Let's just chill. Let's just minimize our own mistakes and let G2 beat themselves. But that's really not happened. G2, after, you know, maybe a minute or so of not looking all that great in game 1, they've really tidied up their act. That is actually a team save, I believe.
Yeah.
As Garrett just landed on top of Justin's shot. It's all gone wrong for NRG here, although the late comeback would have been difficult anyway. You still don't want to see team saves coming in on open nets.
Unfortunate, but for NRG, I think it's a go next situation at this point. This ball will drop across. Dries is going to keep it up. Nope, he wants to get going as well. G2, and I don't blame him. They've been looking good. I think they want to carry that into the next few games here against NRG. It would be a massive bounce back for G2 to drop the series against Alpine and then take down NRG, but they've only taken their first step here.
Yeah, NRG, I expect to see them, you know, really try and make more plays. There's been a lot of clearing of the ball. There's been a lot of, you know, just trying to suppress the G2 offense. But the creativity for NRG hasn't been there as often as we're used to seeing from them. They've had a couple of flip reset plays, which are inherently mind games, of course, but you know, they've got to step it up, and I'm sure that they will step it up. Definitely don't want to see that kickoff again that started off this game. If they're gonna, you know, if they're gonna go for a dead ball kickoff, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but if the ball's gonna be in the very middle of the field on the kickoff spot, you can't leave your net open. It's too risky. Yep. You might just concede immediately, which is exactly what happened. So let's see if NRG covered their goal on this one.
And, you know, NRG have really played the same exact way in the first 2 games. It feels like this is the way, you know, they're kind of saying to themselves, this is the way we want to play, and we're not going to change it. We came out on top of the first game, but this last game was not a pretty showing from NRG, and nothing really changed. And I agree with you. I think there has to be a bit more creativity, because you look on the G2 side, and boy, oh boy, they are colorful on offense right now.
Yeah, they've had the aggression, they've had the pace, and they've had Dries really outplaying players very consistently. How many successful centers was he able to get past multiple opponents in the last game? I'd say he was by far the most successful in just getting the ball past the other team. We'll see if he can do that again. Got to give credit, by the way, to Squishy on the first kickoff here. He did, in fact, turn back to his goal, not up the line. So, they didn't have to defend a shot, but if they did, he would have been there.
So maybe some improvement here for NRG, as they're going to have to field some of the G2 offense, and they do well to push it away. Now onto Garrett. It's by one, but can't hold on to the ball. It's a good dunk to keep it here. Still very tough for NRG to keep that fluid offense going. It feels like they get stuck, and maybe that's credit to G2. They stuff them in the corner, and they don't let them out. But NRG, it seems like they get down the field, and then all of a sudden they just hit this brick wall where they can't really build anything else.
So NRG just need that one more game. Oh, it's just going to be saved for G2 here. That was lingering a bit too close to their goal for their liking. Like I was about to say before pandemonium in the box, if NRG wins 2 games in this set, they will clinch top 2 in the group, and that will put G2 in 3rd. So
wow,
G2 have got to win 2 in a row here if they want to get top 2 away from NRG. This is a massive situation for them to be in. Based on what we've seen so far, it's doable. But NRG coming to life a bit in game 3, already getting some good chances.
Here's Chicago. Oh, that one got away from him. He was so far downfield, he didn't get a lot of help from his team. They were still trying to catch up with him. But for NRG, that just makes the stakes that much higher, having to now basically win out if they want to finish top 2. They won't be out if they finish 3rd, but certainly want to get the best seeding you possibly can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, battle for top 2 overall in the RLCS points is huge for North America. You're going to get a better seed and a better guaranteed finish in the championships at the end of the year. So you need those points. You need to improve your seeding as much as possible. And that's what winning or getting top 2 in the group stage of this tournament gets you. You start in the upper bracket. You get 2 shots at advancing. Only need to win 1 series out of 2. Unlike the 3rd, 4th place teams, you need to win 2 series in a row.
There's
a big difference there. Here's G2. They've scored it. JNAPS first to the center ball after Chicago drops it down for him. That's a great play by Chicago. Pass one, dunks on the second, and then nobody left for NRG.
And that's a great play from Chicago, because I think he realizes he's going to get to the ball as soon as it hits that backboard, which is like almost an impossible shot. Plus he has the defender. So he flips upside down to stall that ball and to just drop it down and hope that an opportunity arises, and it certainly did. So G2 taking another step in a very important series here against NRG. So they get that offense going again. Lower shooting game here for NRG and for G2. G2 at 3, NRG at 2, but maybe a 3rd for NRG here. Justin's shot is wide. Squishy, can he put on target? He just pops it up. And Dries there to shovel it out with the help of Garrett. Another shot comes out from Justin. This time JNAP's having to field it. It's NRG circling on the G2 side, and they finally break through to equalize.
This is great from NRG. This is the sort of confidence that's been missing. They've been playing not to lose up until now, but look at them getting stuck in. All 3 players involved in that offensive onslaught as they equalize. Just 1 more goal would put NRG top 2 in the group if they can keep G2 scoreless from this point onwards. And G2 overall in this series have had more chances. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Certainly have. Their chances have been reduced here in this game. Still coming about. NRG back to the G2 side here. Oh, that'll help out G2. Dries is downfield chasing after. He's got no boost, but he'll get the corner and the possession. Can he knock it down? Chicago's there. Tough shot, but great work from Dries to keep this opportunity alive. And here it comes back out to Dries. Can he put it away? Left side shot, Justin. Huge save as NRG are holding on.
Yeah, brilliant defense by Justin. He didn't get the best initial clear, but made up for it with that pre-jump. And staying low enough on the pre-jump to save a low shot is something that a lot of players get wrong. Justin, not one of them on that play.
It'll be a tough block for Dries, but he does get a touch on it. Oh, but he accidentally got by Chicago. And this one now, it's going to turn out for G2. Is that one in? Chicago puts it home, and G2 on top.
Chicago crunches it straight into the roof of the net as JNAP's pass just connected with him in the perfect position. That was just a dream of a pass from JNAP's. But no chance, zero chance for NRG to save a shot of that quality. G2 on the transition. Put another one past NRG. Scary to see G2 do that. That's an unstoppable pass into a shot combination.
It happened so fast. I mean, it was almost a mistake on the G2 side that they just transitioned into a massive shot. And Chicago again will just take a pot shot at Justin. Drees wanted some help in the midfield, but a bit too high. NRG's going to pick it up. 10 seconds left. They're coming up on 10 seconds, but Garrett, before we even get there, will tie it up.
Look at this from NRG. Squishy drops it down right into the middle of the field. Garrett G fakes an aerial, controls the ball with one touch, and then gets around it with an air roll shot to sneak it between two defenders. That's such a sick recovery by Garrett with not a lot of time left on the clock. NRG equalize again. It's going to be G2's kickoff. They advance first.
Chicago's up. Can he drop it down? Chicago off the kickoff. Puts G2 back in the lead.
Squishy looking for Garrett G on the left-hand side. He didn't realize Chicago was advancing from the back corner where he already was. And he does it all himself. G2 back in front in style. Chicago's shooting has been the difference in this game.
Well, let's see what happens on this kickoff. Back and forth. And NRG they need to keep it up here. Squishy does get by a couple. Drees will put it away. And G2, 2-1 in the series, trying to close it out.
And this next game will decide which one of these two teams finishes in the top two and which one of them finishes in the third position for this group. Massive difference there. Alpine have just sent a shockwave through this group by beating G2 earlier. That wasn't supposed to happen. Had it not happened, we'd currently be watching the series deciding who finishes first. But Alpine, man, what a day they've had. They've not only ruined G2's day, they've also ruined NRG's day. Imagine if G2 beat NRG finished third. That would be absolutely ridiculous.
I'm curious to know what happened in that series now, because if G2's playing like this, and I assume they had some sort of this form against Alpine, what is Alpine doing today? Because that's incredible. And right now, G2 trying to close it out here against NRG, who I would say been lackluster from NRG. There hasn't been a lot of defining moments. When you think back in the series so far through a few games, you think back to the big shots, the big time shots that G2 had, the passing plays through the midfield, Chicago and JNAPs, Drees as well being involved in that offense. I really can't think of that for NRG.
Well, NRG, you know, they had their best game in that third game, but the problem is G2 also had, I think, their overall best game. The passing and the shooting has been, you know, what we've been wanting to see from G2. Here's Chicago again. That's just going to go in, and somebody has to save it. Garrett gets it off the goal line. Thank goodness for NRG that they didn't let that one in. You can't just let the ball roll through like that. Chicago having far too much success in the final third.
Yeah, and Chicago only needed just an extra little touch on that one, as it was more than 50% over the line. For NRG, they're happy to see that one go through. Here they come again. Can they get this one off the back wall? Tough read. And G2 defense does get it out. Squishy will have to turn. I'd expect a bit more of a tense game here. I think NRG know what they're up against now, certainly. And everyone committed there from G2. Chicago wanted the bump. Is that one going to drop in off the crossbar? And NRG robbed by the woodwork.
Oh, that is just the worst bounce possible for NRG. If it hits the bar a little bit more softly, it's just going to go in. If it hits it any harder, it's just an easy finish for Justin, who was first on the scene. Well, here's Justin again. He tries to dribble JNAPs, who blocked the goal side of the ball. That's a great challenge by JNAPs. Gives his teammates time to recover.
Still scoreless, but maybe Garrett can change things. He's looking for a second touch here. Oh my goodness, Garrett putting it away, and NRG on top.
What a shot. Garrett G hits the first touch from the halfway line, but had a ton of work to do. Just a forward air roll into that one, the little roly-poly double touch from Garrett G. And ignoring the defender as well, because he knows, well, I'm up for this. I gotta just ignore the defender, because if he hits it, I'm not gonna get the goal anyway. So let me just pretend that he doesn't. Oh, cool, he missed it. I'm in. Great play by Garrett. NRG still favorites from this point to finish top 2 in the group.
JNaps looking for some space over Chicago. He'll give it back to JNaps. The shot was on, but instantly blocked. Drees trying to get a hold of it. And JNaps, he had missed the midfield boost, which cost him the possession there. Now Justin, NRG would love to double up their lead. They've struggled to pull away from G2. Squishy. Drees breaking it up. JNaps also here to help. Chicago waiting to see where Garrett's going to go. G2, they've been pushed back, but look at the passing play coming out to Drees. He's got to do it himself. Justin does well to block that. G2 won't be able to hold on as they're back to their own defensive side.
Yeah, great chance for Drees there. Just took a bit too heavy of a first touch and didn't immediately go for the ball. That gave NRG a chance to close him down. JNaps low on boost. Beaten to that one by Squishy, but Chicago drops it off for Drees in defense, who hammers it to the back wall, but Garrett G sends it back with interest. That's a high clear, but JNaps is all over it. Just to reiterate, G2 need to win this game. If they lose even this game, doesn't have to be the series, they just have to lose this game, and they are in third place. It is as simple as that. They need a comeback here.
It only takes one for G2, and they're fishing for it in the midfield, but NRG's been tough to crack here all of a sudden. They've certainly organized themselves, and a couple bad touches from G2 will help out. Good demo from Chicago will stop the transition. Drees past one. Can't win the challenge against Justin. JNaps there to help out. G2 looking to get something going, but NRG relentless in their presence in the midfield. Drees shut down by Squishy, and the demo on Garrett. This could be an opportunity. JNaps racing back. Now Squishy off the ceiling. Does get the pass across, and Justin puts it home.
And it all comes together for NRG. Garrett demos the only player who could have pressured Squishy. That gives him the time to snipe the pass, which of course he does, to an arriving Justin. 2-0 NRG are about to book their place in the top half of this group. And what a result that would be for them. Giving G2 another headache in an already difficult season.
Over a minute left to play, or just over a minute. JNaps could make the difference. Shot on target, and G2 hold on a second. They've got time.
Yeah, they're just going to feel like a long minute for NRG. Great pass from Drees. Just slamming the ball into the corner wall. That is a much faster way to center it from that position than if you tried to get around it and hit it into the back wall. So, you know, showing a very instructive center there. And JNaps had it. Oh, that's a miss from Drees, though. Bit of an awkward one, but still a miss nonetheless. It hasn't gone too badly for G2, because here comes JNaps. He's got an air dribble, and it's denied by Justin. First to the second ball.
That was a huge opportunity, and for G2, JNaps missed his back boost, but Drees there to pick it up for them in the midfield. He's got to take on all of NRG. Can't get by Garrett. JNaps still trying to make it work, and it gets away from him. Time not on G2's side here. They do play it down. Chicago can't get there in time, and this is a big clear now for NRG. JNaps to the ceiling. Needs help. Does get it from Drees. Now JNaps going for Justin, the last man.
Oh!
Shot comes through. Pushes him out of the way. And Chicago ties it up with 20 seconds.
G2 bring the whole squad. And JNaps really clutching it up there off the ball. He had no boost and he managed to bump Justin, who saw him coming. That is a huge play by JNaps. He read the fact that Justin would stop outside the goal, and he just made it impossible for Justin to escape him. Tie game. It could very easily be next goal gets top two, and it could be G2. They're advancing again.
What a comeback here for G2. But they've got one more goal to score if they want to do it. This could be it. Off the back wall, looking for help. Everyone rotated back, and a dangerous clear here for NRG. It'll drop right in front of Justin. And I think the last man knew it at G2. Happy to see it go. And into overtime here in a crucial must-win game for NRG if they want to sit in the top two. NRG is trying to spoil that. As here comes Squishy. Drees gets up. Huge save from Drees, but Justin is there. And G2 can't get back. NRG takes the game.
Defensive heroics from Drees. He saved that by jumping off the inside of his own post. Unfortunately for him, JNaps double committed, and Chicago did not recover fast enough. Justin's shot goes uncontested into the back of the net. This series is not yet over, but this group stage has ended badly for G2. That loss confirms that they will finish 3rd place in this group, and that is a terrifying proposition. That is a terrifying proposition because they are already running into some tough opponents from Group A. Oxygen Esports, former Jamal Jabari, have upset everybody in Group A, pushing teams like Rogue, Sonics into the 3rd, 4th spots there. That's who G2 are going to be up against, potentially in the start of the lower half of the knockout gauntlet tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it doesn't get easy for these guys. G2 fans, once again, on the edge of their seats.
They're certainly going to need some help. And like you said, the series is not over. And for NRG, there is something still on the line for them here. If they win the series, they'll be number 1. If they lose in 5 here against G2, they'll be number 2 in the group. So something to still play for here for G2, or for NRG, excuse me. For G2, I think still a big win can happen here over NRG. And I think that helps them going forward. I mean, obviously their spot is kind of solidified here in their group, but you know, taking NRG to game 5 and the way they've been playing, I mean, they have deserved the game wins they've had. They've looked the better team in a lot of these games against NRG.
Yeah, I think G2, they outperformed NRG for 3 games in this series, but NRG were able to get a win in that first one anyway.
Yeah,
NRG have been improving. I think game 3 was, an improvement for NRG. Game 4 was another improvement. They've been trending upwards, whereas G2 have just kind of looked threatening throughout. So let's see if NRG can produce what they just did. If they do, then it's going to be difficult to see G2 winning this one. But you know, they need to, for momentum's sake and for their confidence going into tomorrow. First chance will be sent clear by Squishy. JNAP's decided not to bother going.
Oh, Chicago. Ooh, that one was just outside the net. An opportunity there. G2 fishing for it still. See what NRG are going to give them. Big clear from Squishy. Over to Garrett. He'll pick it up. Second touch looming, but the defense holding strong for G2 to break that one up. It's a minute come and gone here. JNAPS. Let's give it over to Drees, trying to find something out of his own corner, but JRG again setting up a double tap. Here's Squishy now. He'll beat Chicago to the ball. And Drees having to bail out G2 again. Still dangerous. Everyone's running out of boost for G2. In fact, nobody has boost. I'm flicking through all of them. They're all on 0. They do get it out.
Yeah, there's not many teams that you'd be more scared of when none of you have boost than NRG. So you're up against 3 players who can all solo play. They can all just chip the ball that little bit too high for any of you to reach without boost. And then what on earth do you do? They can all flip reset. It's a terrifying proposition, but Chicago power clears, and meanwhile JNAPS is actually stealing 100 from NRG's end. Drees needs help in defense. JNAPS will use all the boost he just stole to get back, and not a moment too late.
Oh my. And G2 falling apart there in the midfield. Now Garrett wants to take on Drees, and Drees, good read to stop Garrett on that little wave dash pop. Now Chicago, he'll get over to JNAPS. The shot is on target. It's high, actually. I thought maybe it was under the crossbar. Good contact though, and a good setup from G2. That's that offense that's so scary. It's all of a sudden downfield and a pass across. For NRG, no one was there to contest it. They're just lucky that Chicago didn't put it away. Now this one off the back wall for NRG. Drees doing well to get this one downfield.
Yeah, Drees had a good read on that bounce. Was close, but he didn't worry about it. Overall, I think I've been impressed with both of these teams. This is a great match between 2 of the best in North America. It's good to see G2 continuing their good run of form after the acquisition of Drees. But here comes Garrett. Chicago just manages to save what would have been a great goal for Garrett G. NRG are still playing extremely consistently, and it looks like they're playing to win now, something that they weren't doing at the start of this series.
Still scoreless for both sides. Under 2 minutes to play. Here's Squishy trying to change that. Drees will just calmly take that one away from him. That shot was on target. Garrett and Justin get tied up for a second, and Drees wanted a piece of Garrett. But Garrett does a good job getting it out for NRG, and who have been really both sides have been unthreatened so far. G2, maybe JNAP's shot was the best look they've had. Drees again. looking for some more space. He does get a dunk. Chicago's up for it, and so is JNaps actually. And everyone bails on the play. Very, very calm game 5 here between these two teams at the moment. Only 4 shots for G2, 3 on the NRG side.
Yeah, it's exactly the word I was thinking of as well. Defenses are playing this one out with great composure, even in the final moments of the last game in a series, which has had fast plays from both teams. And Dries, again, just so composed, bringing the ball down as it's about to bounce into his own net. This is great to see from these two teams. Even in 1v2 positions, they've been standing strong. And there's the same thing from Justin, controlling defense.
Yep.
It's a common theme in North American top-level teams these days.
Yeah, not a lot of outlet for NRG. They rather just use themselves to pull it out. And Garrett, that's a big miss. Whoa. This could be NRG's chance, and Chicago couldn't put it on target. Still a little bit dicey here for NRG as Dries gets over one. Can he get back to it? Oh, Dries off the ceiling, and he gives G2 the lead.
Well, Chicago and JNaps both just botched a rebound to the far post. Just let Dries do it all. He centers it to himself this time. He's sick of centering the ball and nobody being there. He's just chased that one all the way down. And what a great angle to come at the ball from. Big kickoff though for NRG. Pass goes a bit behind Squishy, but he's able to collect it anyway. That's a high hit towards JNaps. This bounce badly for G2. Dries saved. They've somehow got in the way of it, and again, Chicago has just deflected it wide. NRG with one more chance, and that's saved as well. G2. What a heroic effort in defense at the end of the game. They've done it. You know, they're finishing the group in 3rd place, but at least they do it with a win over their rivals.
Wow. That was the closest you could get to not scoring for NRG, as Dries, he was in the air because he was beaten on the first touch. He misread it and came back down and then made the save, just boosting into the ball. And
Crazy.
then NRG save or shot was saved just wide by another defender. I mean, I couldn't even keep up. It happened so fast. And for NRG, a painful way to lose game 5. So they will not finish number 1. They will finish number 2 as they fall to G2 here.
That's that's not ideal for NRG either. There's still a chance that Rogue could finish 2nd in Group A, and that would put NRG against Rogue. So, or that Rogue finished 1st. Sorry. So they they would have liked that win, obviously. But we'll have to see if it affects their tournament tomorrow after Group A concludes.
We will have to find out. We've got plenty more matches coming up. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, more Rocket League.